So
can you just make that little announcement and ask Steve to come back? Because I might as well just say hi now in case it gets crazy. Please. Thank you.
okay, I'm a big fan of yours, and I saw you on the Ed Sullivan Show, and you were just absolutely glamorous. To me, you wore $1 million outfits, and with all the lights and the singing and stuff like that. Did you guys pick your own outfits back then, or did you have a wardrobe person at that time?
You're far too young to have seen us on that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're talking
Bless
about you saw the reruns.
No. I was actually around, believe it or not.
Well, you know what? Back in those days, a lot of times our outfits, we would bring our own outfits.
Okay.
And we would wear our own gowns. So those outfits, we would, of course, pick our own outfits. But then we would also do novelty numbers. We'd also wear outfits where we would have, so they would come with designs and oftentimes design those gowns for us. So we would have two different outfits.
Have you got an Ed Sullivan story you can share with me after being on there for, I think, the most out of any other group?
Yeah, we were on there quite a bit, probably more than any other group other than that little Muppet, Topo Gigio. Yeah. Well, one of my favorite stories is how we were on so often that I think Ed always got myself and Diana Ross mixed up. He always thought I was Diane, so he'd always come to me first and try to shake my hand. But then one time we were, since it was live TV, he didn't like for you to do too many costume changes because, especially before a commercial.
Okay.
And so we did this one costume change, and of course we were late, and so he blamed it on Diane. He says, "Oh, wait till I see that Diana Ross. I'm going to get her," and it really wasn't her fault.
On live TV, right?
On live TV,
Yeah.
and it wasn't her fault. You know, it's just we had the costume change, and it happened. We were late.
Can I ask you about some of my favorite songs? Floyd Joy, I understand you sang lead on, and wasn't that, did Smokey Robinson write that song?
Floyd Joy, you're the man. I know I'll never own you, Floyd, but see me when you can. Yeah, that was a duet between myself and Jean Terrell.
Oh, okay.
Jean Terrell replaced Diane in the 70s. That was actually penned by Smokey Robinson, yes. And
right.
in fact, Smokey penned many of our earlier Supreme songs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did about 11 songs prior to our first number one. Oh, may I bring this up? This year, 2004 is our 40th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Of our first number one million seller.
Okay, now I liked them all, so it'd be hard for me to say. I like when what would it be? When the love light starts shining in your eyes, or
but when the love light starts shining through his eyes, made me realize I should apologize. And when he placed a kiss upon my face, ooh, that was our first Bubbling Under, which was our about 10th number one record. Was our 10th release, or maybe our 9th release. But the first number one was right after that, and that was our first number one, which was 40 years ago.
Wow.
So that was 1964, and that was so it was our first number one.
Congratulations.
Which is 40 years ago to this month, August 17th. It was released.
How does that feel, knowing that your music, your performances have stood the test of time? You guys are legends in the music industry.
Well, you know, they're just really catching up, breaking our records today. You know, a lot of the young ones today are, you know, saying that they're, you know, the number one premier group of the day, but let's see them 40 years from now still having their music. And, you know, that was, you know, we got to say Motown, Holland, Dozier Holland, you know, Berry Gordy are all responsible for giving us all this great music and, you know, for giving us that opportunity to have all this great music, you know. But of course, it's Florence, Diane, and I who sang it. So
right. Now, you guys were like a family when you first started Motown. I understand that the Four Tops, the Temptations would sing on some of your records and vice versa. You guys just all pitched in. Is that correct?
Yes. In fact, the song you mentioned, When the Love Light Starts Shining Through His Eyes, the Four Tops and many of the other groups were on that record. You know that part that says,
I was wondering about that.
That was the Four Tops and some of the other groups on that record. So yeah, we all kind of sang on each other's record, clapped hand. you know, and all that stuff on each other's songs.
Another one of my favorites was Nathan Jones, and that was with you, Gene, and Cindy.
Birdsong. Cindy
And I
Birdsong.
like
Yes.
the phasing effect on that.
Yes,
That was a
yes,
great song.
yes. Nathan Jones that did have that, and that was Mr. Frank Wilson who produced that song.
really?
He, you know, and he came up with a lot of the newer technology sounds in the 70s,
Okay.
because in the 60s, Holland Dozier Holland,
Right.
who produced all of our songs, were the guys that you know, had all that great sound. But in the 70s, Frank Wilson brought in new technology and put things on the record. So he brought up a lot of things on Eddie Kendrick's, you know, the Johnny May and Keep on Trucking, and as you mentioned,
Wow.
Nathan Jones. Yes.
Who are some of the musicians that inspired you on your way up?
I was inspired by a lot of jazz musicians,
really?
jazz singers. Dakota Staten was one of my favorites, Nancy Wilson. But in the earlier days, you know, people like Sarah Vaughan and Arthur Price Stock, and obviously Nat King Cole, and a lot of those people like that. But I remember one of the earliest recordings that I was crazy about was Jim Dandy to the rescue. Go Jim Dandy, go Jim Dandy, Jim Dandy on the mountaintop. You know, that was oh God, can't think of her name. I'm just saying the song now. People are going to say silly, her name is, and she's recently passed away, but she was one
I'm
of
going
my.
to go grab the book and see who that was. I can't remember.
Got me on the spot right there. So people like that, but jazz is my first love, actually. So I grew up listening to all the jazz artists in Detroit. Detroit is a big jazz town, so I was influenced by a lot of. In fact, I'm recording now,
All right.
and a lot of the songs I'm recording being produced by the Holland Group, Eddie Brand's
Wow.
company, and my producer is one of their producers, Richard Davis. And he has actually put this CD together. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if you call them CDs or albums these
Yeah.
days, right? But he's producing, and it's a laid back contemporary CD that has jazz influences. But it's going to be. I guess you can call it. I don't know what you can call it, but it's more of a jazz influences.
When will it be out, and what's the title going to be? Do you have that yet?
Well, we can't give that away right now, but it's